Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
And I'm Leah.
We're going to have some fun today in our unit on fun. And, of course, we're going to be talking about getting an aquarium, which a lot of people do here in Taiwan. I've seen lots of stores that sell aquariums and tropical fish and stuff like that. But I guess before you get an aquarium, you need to know something about Feng Shui.
You do have to know something about Feng Shui, and I have to admit that while I have heard about it a lot, I am not an expert in Feng Shui. But I do know that Feng Shui can affect, like the way your building is set up can affect whether you are financially stable or not. If you have too many plants, it means you're just kind of letting the money out the door. And I know if you do certain things, you're going to have problems with your Feng Shui. So one of the things you want to do with Feng Shui is you want to take the 5 elements, earth, water, metal, fire, and wood, and you want to kind of harmonize them or balance them. So one thing is not too dominant. So for example, if you were born in the year of the earth rat, which I think I am, you might have some things that you need to have taken care of because you're missing certain elements in your day-to-day. So you have to build your own Feng Shui a bit.
Indeed. So these are concepts that are from ancient China, but they are still observed not only in Chinese communities around the world, but in other communities, non-Chinese communities, because I guess there is something to this, and there probably has been some research that shows that Feng Shui is actually beneficial to your house, to your business, etc., and also to where you place your aquarium. So we want to find good fortune with your aquarium. If you get an aquarium for your home, with tropical fish and stuff like that, you should either know something about Feng Shui or you should consult a Feng Shui expert or a master or whatever they call them. So let's get to it, everybody. Let's find out what this is all about. Let's read the entire contents of our lesson now one time. With the water's quiet murmur and the sparkles of bright fish flitting around the tank, an aquarium can bring an inviting touch to your home. Before adding an aquarium to just any corner of your house, however, you might first want to consider the tank's Feng Shui. To start, think about the aquarium's placement. The prime location is the southeast sector. According to the Feng Shui Bagua or energy map, this area brings wealth and prosperity. You could also put it in the north for career or east for health and family. You definitely want to avoid the kitchen, as the water will destroy this room's fire element. Keep it out of the bedroom as well, as the water's yang energy will disturb your sleep. Finally, placing an aquarium in the center of your home, which is dominated by the earth element, may bring disputes or other difficulties. Including all 5 elements in your aquarium will bring balance. To include earth, line the bottom with stones or sand. Choose a tank with a metal framework to incorporate this element and add plants to cover wood. For fire, fill the tank with red, yellow, gold, or orange fish. The source of the water element is clear since you can't have a fish tank without water. Yet, keeping the water clean is a must. Finally, add exactly 9 fish. 9 is the most favorable number in Feng Shui and will bring good fortune. One of the 9 fish should be black, and this particular fish will absorb any bad luck meant for you. With these tips, you're bound to have the most auspicious aquarium on the block.
Hi, everybody. We're back now. We're going to look at our article. It is a fun section for this month. And our article starts with the title, Find Good Fortune with Aquarium Feng Shui. So you're trying to figure out a way to make sure that you're making a lot of money in your day-to-day and you're saving a lot of money in your day-to-day. And you're going to do that. How? Well, not get a better job or not go out and see if your uncle can lend you lots of money. No, you're going to place an aquarium in the right spot in your house, and that's where you get into Feng Shui. A lot of Feng Shui is about the position of the house, but some Feng Shui is about the items in the house, making sure you have a plant in the right place, making sure, you have a window in the right direction, or making sure that you have an aquarium that you've put in just the perfect spot.
Indeed. And of course, an aquarium is a big box, I suppose, a rectangular container full of water that you have fish in your home or in your office or business or wherever. And aquarium also refers to some type of museum that has lots of fish inside it, like the aquarium down in Kending. I think there's also one in Taidong somewhere, and maybe in other parts of Taiwan where they have aquariums where you can go look at fish and stuff like that. But here we're talking about the aquarium that you're going to have in your house.
That's right. And it says, with the water's quiet murmur and the sparkles of bright fish flitting around the tank, an aquarium can bring an inviting touch to your home. I love this sentence because it's not like one of those real straightforward sentences where we're talking about the history of something right away. You're more setting kind of a scene. You can see these fish moving around back and forth, and you can hear the water bubbling in the fish tank and going blah, 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 blah. And that's the murmur. A murmur is a sound where you're not quite opening your mouth. You're just kind of talking with your mouth closed, and you're going, I wish I could go to the zoo. And that word is an onomatopoeic word. It's a word that sounds like the thing it is describing. Some other onomatopoeic words would be bang or hiss, like the hiss of air coming out of your tire. It sounds like that. So the murmur sounds just like what it is. It's the murmur of the water.
Or it could be the engine running that puts air into the water there for the fish to breathe. That's something you'll see. Or you might see the sparkles of the bright fish flitting to and fro. They're flitting around in the tank. Sparkle, of course, is something that shines very quickly, like when you look at the surface of water on a sunny afternoon. You can see sparkles of light reflecting off of the waves. And in this particular case, you get sparkles of bright fish as they're flitting around the tank. Flitting here, I guess, is from the verb to flit, which means that you're just moving around back and forth like fish do. They flit around the tank. They swim quickly around the tank. And with these things, if you have these things, then an aquarium can bring an inviting touch to your home. So inviting, I think in this particular case, means that it makes your home attractive and visitors feel welcome when they see that aquarium.
That's right. You can also say welcoming touch, right? So it makes people feel more comfortable as they come into your home. They're like, oh, I love your aquarium. That is just so comforting. Before adding an aquarium to just any corner of your house, however, you might first want to consider the tank's feng shui. We're getting into an area that is going to be something I don't know a lot about, but it's very, very interesting to me. In America and in Europe, I know Feng Shui and the science behind Feng Shui has become more and more popular. So you can actually hire someone to look at your house and figure out where you have Feng Shui problems. And that's something you might want to do before putting your aquarium in just any corner. This just any corner right here is really saying just anywhere you want. It's like if you would just walk in there and go, yep, aquarium, and put it right there by the front door. You might not have put it in the right place because you're not considering all the issues you might have to deal with Feng Shui.
Yeah, you could do some research yourself, but it's probably best to consult a specialist here. And yes, indeed, when you install an aquarium inside your house, you need to consider the feng shui. Now, to start at the beginning here, think about the aquarium's placement. Placement just means where something is. Where are you going to put the aquarium? Next to the window, near the kitchen, in the middle of the living room, in somebody's bedroom. Yes, that's the placement or the location of the aquarium. And the prime location, the main location, is the southeast sector. Sector here just means a certain area. We often sometimes talk about the sectors of the economy, like the industrial sector, the service sector, and stuff like that. But here we're talking about the area of your home. It would be the southeast area.
That's right. And according to the Feng Shui Bagua, or the energy map, you've probably seen those on walls sometimes with the lines, the short lines and the long lines that combine together in these different symbols to create the Bagua, the 8 different symbols, right? Or the energy map. This area brings wealth and prosperity. So if you put your aquarium in the southeast sector or the southeast area of your house, that would be the best or the prime place to put it in if you're trying to get more wealth and prosperity. Wealth is talking about money. Prosperity is talking about, well, being successful and making money and having good luck and doing well in things.
But having a good business and making sure you have lots of income coming in all the time. So again, if you want those sorts of things, and who doesn't, then the prime location or the ideal location is the southeast area or the southeast sector. Now, again, you're using the Bagua, the energy map, to determine that area. And you could also put it in the north for career or east for health and family. So I guess you've got some choices here. Do you want to be primarily making a lot of money? Well, then put it in the southeast. But if you're just more concerned about your career and being successful in your career, and maybe you're not so concerned about being the richest guy in the world, then you could put it in the north. Or if you're more concerned about your health and your family, then you can put it in the east.
Yeah, but you definitely want to avoid the kitchen, as the water will destroy the room's fire element. To me, I would think differently. I would think you want it in the kitchen to kind of keep the fire element in the kitchen from being too strong, but I guess that's not the case. And you also want to keep it out of the bedroom as well, where the water's yang energy will disturb your sleep. Just to let you know here, that yang that you see written with the italics, if you would hear that in America, if we talk about yin and yang, in America you would probably hear people talk about yin and yang. So that would be the way that most folks would recognize that word as being yang energy here. And yang energy is just that strong energy as opposed to the yin energy or the yin energy. And I guess you don't want that in your bedroom because then it would make it difficult for you to sleep. It would disturb your sleep or cause it to be uneven at night.
Indeed. And finally, placing an aquarium in the center of your home, which is dominated by the earth element, may bring disputes or other difficulties. So it's a no-no. Don't put the aquarium in the center of your home because that is dominated by the earth element. And I guess you're bringing an aquarium in there with water in it, so that will disturb the earth element of your home, and that will cause disputes, arguments, disagreements. People will be arguing with each other. They'll be throwing things at each other. That's not good. And you'll have other difficulties as well. Maybe you'll have, too much moisture in the house, and there'll be mold, and you'll have rats and roaches and stuff like that. So again, you're not supposed to put the aquarium in the center of your home.
Sounds like we found an interesting place to stop here and let our Chinese teacher tell us more about it.
听众朋友大家好，我是安娜。我们今天的文章还蛮有趣的，是有关于风水，也就是平常大家可能会养个鱼啊，那么如果你要放个鱼缸在家里，到底要怎么摆呢？我们今天从风水的角度来探讨一下这个鱼缸到底要怎么摆。不过呢，要谈风水，可能要认识一下风水很基本的五行的元素，就是金、水、木、火、土。我们常会听到说金生水，水生木，木生火，火生土，土又生金。那么在英文当中，如果真的要翻的话，这个金啊其实就是金属的意思，是 metal。那么木呢就是 wood， 水当然就是 water 咯，火真的用 fire， 可是土呢用的是 earth， 就是地球啊 earth 那个字。好，所以鱼缸到底要怎么摆呢？其实风水的学问是真的大一些。不过这个文章啊，我们是设计成课漏字，那我们特别要针对第1题跟第4题来探究一下，因为其他的题目呢，主要是针对单字或者是片语，但是像第1题，我们看到的是一个连接词或者是文意的转折，有可能是所谓的转成词语。事实上，第1题你看4个选项。A. Likewise， 同样的就是这样。B. In short， 总而言之。C. In addition， 除此之外还有另外一点要说明解释。而 D 呢，这个答案的 however 有反转的意思。那我们就回过头来看咯， 在第一题的前后已经提到了，在第一段的第一句说，你想要放个这个很漂亮的这个鱼缸，那到底怎么办呢？接下来在第二格，我们看到第二句之后，这个第一题所挖的 however 这个单字其实是让文意有所转折。如果你在空格之后先看一下，空格之后如果提到家里的任何角落在添加之前都要看一下风水，那么就不能是文意的顺承，所以它其实是一个文意的转折，也就是然而你要先考虑风水之后才能够决定鱼缸到底要摆在哪里。好，所以首先啦，我们先就这个位置 placement 来摆放的位置先思考一下。在第二段开始，最好的位置是哪个地方呢？这个 location 就是东南区了。因为如果根据风水的八卦或者是能量图，东南方家里的东南方是会带来财富跟繁荣哦。当然为了事业你可以放在北方，为了健康家庭就摆在东方，但是一定要避开厨房。为什么？因为这个厨房呢，你要考虑到一个元素，就是火的元素。我们看一下第二段第5句的地方，第5句逗点之后出现了一个 as， 在这里的 as 是表示原因的连接词，其实就是 because 的意思。当然特别提到就是说厨房里面，因为我们就要开火煮饭嘛，所以有这个 fire element， 有火的元素。我们知道水火是不相容的哦，所以鱼缸放在厨房这样子会犯冲的。那么接下来呢，也要远离卧室，因为水本身带有一些阳气。在同样第二段第6句的地方，这个阳气叫做 young energy。
We're going to take a short break now, but please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
All right, everybody. So we're continuing on in our story about the feng shui of the aquarium, where you should put this aquarium in your house, the things you need to consider, whether you want money or whether you're more interested in, I don't know, prosperity in general, or your career, or your health and family. That's one thing you need to think about in terms of it all. You need to consider your placement. However, you also need to put things in your aquarium to create feng shui balance. So, including all 5 elements in your aquarium will bring balance.
Yes, and you did mention those elements at the beginning of our program last time. We've got earth, we've got water, metal, fire, and wood. So you need to have all 5 elements in your aquarium to bring about balance. And yes, maybe you can have everything there. You can have prosperity, you can be good in your career, and your family can be healthy and never get sick. Or at least not sicker than usual. But let's talk about what you can do with these 5 elements. The first one is earth. So to include earth, line the bottom with stones or sand. That makes a lot of sense because rocks, stones, or sand are all from the earth. They're like dirt or soil.
Right, and choose a tank with a metal framework to incorporate this element. Naturally, you probably wouldn't want metal in the water because it will rust away, but if you have it as a detail on the outside, it's the framework that holds those glass pieces together, then you're probably going to get your metal there. Framework here is just the frame, the way things go together in a set pattern. So you can have a framework that you use to put your pictures in, and that's a picture frame. And the framework of it is the way it goes together.
Right, and of course, when you see buildings under construction, of course, they put up the framework first, and then they put in the walls and the ceilings and the floors and the windows and stuff like that. So yes, indeed, your tank should have this metal framework. I think pretty much all aquariums have a metal framework, except for the little fish bowls, which are made out of glass, but we wouldn't call that an aquarium, would we? That's just a fish bowl made out of glass. But if you got a big tank like a 10-gallon one or a 20-gallon one, or measuring it with the liters or whatever, then you're probably going to have a metal framework so it doesn't fall apart and you've got water and fish flopping on your floor. So yes, indeed, that takes care of metal there. You incorporate this element with the framework, and then you add plants to cover wood. So to get the wood element in your aquarium, you'll have plants in there because plants have stems, which are basically the same thing as wood.
Right, and this use of this to cover here doesn't mean that you're covering up the wood somewhere in the aquarium. It means that you're taking care of the wood element by adding plants. So, for example, if you would need somebody to cover your shift at work, it means you need someone to take care of your shift because you can't do it. So someone can say, no problem, I can cover for you, or I can cover your shift for you. I can cover for you can mean I can lie for you as well. So you got to watch out there.
Uh-oh.
But here we're covering wood, so we're taking care of the wood element. For fire, or the fire element, what can you do? Well, you can fill the tank with red, yellow, gold, or orange fish. And that just takes care of the flame colors, the fiery golds, the fiery reds, and that makes you think of fire when you look at the aquarium, and you cover the fire element.
Indeed. So yes, indeed, you'll cover the fire element with the colors of the fish. So those look like some pretty bright, warm colors there, red, yellow, gold, or orange. And I suppose that means you can't really put blue or green fish in there. They might serve another purpose there. We haven't gotten there yet, but again, you've got to have these colors for the fish. And the source of the water element is clear, since you can't have a fish tank without water. Indeed, that is automatically covered because the aquarium is going to have water in it, so that's already taken care of there. The source of the water element is clear, it's obvious, and yes, indeed, you've got to have water in your aquarium or else the fish are all going to dry out and die, and you don't want that.
No, and if it says it's clear, it means it's obvious, as you were saying. So that source, we've covered all these other different elements, but now we have the water element. And we've got water. Well, you put water in your tank. What happens in an aquarium with these plants in it and these fish in it? Well, the plants kind of die off a bit and they'll put off some goo into the water. The fish, they put some goo into the water too. And that's not really good because you need to have water to take care of your 5 elements and balance your feng shui, but it needs to be clean water. So it says here, yet keeping the water clean is a must. So you need to have clean water. I guess if you have dirty water, it means that you're not respecting the element, or maybe you're showing kind of like where you have too many plants that you're wasting a lot of money, that if you have too much dirty water, then you're wasting another element there.
Indeed. So, yeah, you've got to keep that water clean, and that is a reminder that getting an aquarium requires a lot of work and maintenance after you have it. So think twice if you want to get an aquarium because, again, you've got to clean that water, you've got to feed the fish, and you need to do all sorts of other things. You've got to have a filter, and the equipment all has to be working, etc., etc. And finally, what you need to do is add exactly 9 fish. Okay, you've got to have a total of 9 fish in the aquarium. 9 is the most favorable number in feng shui and will bring good fortune. So yes, indeed, the number 9 is great in feng shui. I don't know if I see it so often on license plates here in Taiwan. Mostly they put the number 8 on license plates because that means you're going to be prosperous, fa, 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 ba, 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 But I don't see 9 so much. I guess that's only used in feng shui.
I don't know. I do know that when you're looking at like ceramics and bronzes from ancient China, that 9 of the elements was what the royals had. So if you were the really wealthy, you had 9 of each item. But I don't know if that ties into the feng shui in any way. But here we talk about one of the 9 fish cannot be orange or red or gold or yellow. It needs to be black. And why is that? Well, you need that one cute little black fish to soak up all your bad luck, because that particular fish will absorb any bad luck meant for you. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thought that that could be the case, right? Absorb means to soak up, to suck up, to take in.
So with these tips, with all this advice, you're bound to have the most auspicious aquarium on the block. So you'll likely have this aquarium that is auspicious, that brings good fortune, it brings good luck to you and your family, and you'll be the envy of all the people on your block. I don't know if we can call areas in Taiwan blocks so much, but at least in America and other countries, a section between streets is called a block. So yeah, that could be your neighborhood, basically. So, okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation for today. Let's listen now to our Chinese teacher.
那当然呢，在水族箱里面，能够纳入这个5个元素，就可以带来平衡。如果在鱼缸里面要加土的话呢，底部就铺石头或沙子，然后选一个有金属框边的鱼缸，就可以加入金的元素咯。那么如果添加植物，就会包含木的元素。火的元素的话呢，当然不可能在水里面有火，所以只要充斥着一些红、黄、金、橙这些颜色的鱼，就会有火元素了。当然，水的元素是很明显，因为鱼缸本来就有水啦。我们在第3段第5句的地方逗点之后看到一个 since， 在这里的 since 可不是自从哦，因为 since 本身有连接词表示原因的功能，所以在这里是 because。不过最后面这一句话，也就是第3段的第6句，我们出现我们刚说要特别注意的第4题，这一格到底要选什么呢？字面上是保持水的干净is a must， 是必须做的一件事情。所以选项当中我们来看 A by keeping， 它的意思是借由做某事 by doing something， 它是一个副词表示方法。 B you keep， 有主词有动词，你做某事，感觉像祈使句咯。 C 的 kept 是 keep 的过去式。那么 D keeping 的话呢，可能是进行式，如果它前面有 be 动词，或者它当动名词，动名词就是名词啊，可能是句子的主词或者是受词。所以回过来我们再来看一下第4格这整句话 Yet 但是空格 the water clean is a must， 所以在这里真正句子的动词就是 is 这个 be 动词， be 动词前面就是主词啦，所以我们选一个主词 D keeping the water clean is a must， 所以第4格要选 D 的答案。好，那么最后呢，要添加刚好9只鱼哦，因为9是最有力的数字。那么其中呢，一只一定要是黑的，因为这个黑色的鱼就可以吸收掉可能会为你带来的厄运。在第4段第3句的地方，请注意最后面 any bad luck 可以划线，它是先行词，后面的 meant for you 是简化的关系子句，关系词一定是 that，因为先行词有 any 这种强调字眼，后面的 be 动词 is 省略掉了。那么以上是我们今天的内容，希望大家在买鱼缸放鱼缸的时候也会多一点学问哦。我是安娜，我们下次见。
Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and good luck with your aquarium. Don't just take it from us, though. You're best to consult an actual expert in Feng Shui to figure out where you're going to place your aquarium and what kind of fish you're going to get and all that fun stuff. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
And I'm Leah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.